The second week of the monsoon session saw heated debates over Operation Sindoor and the Pahalgam attack.
I don't know whether it's age or whether it is our boredom with it. Mr. Modi's jalwa while talking, it's gone.
For at least 15 minutes he said, "Ye Modi, inko laga Modi ab phas jayega."
Modi ab phasega.
Phir Modi ne, I was like, dude, what is happening? For 15 minutes you're just saying how people were trying to phasao Modi, but Modi got out of it.
मोदी तो फेल हो गया, क्या मजा ले रहे थे, उनको लगता है वाह बाजी मार ली.
The less I talk about Mr. Modi and his respect for Parliament, we all know he doesn't really care. He's not for these niceties. He thinks he's above that kind of stuff.
Channel that day was celebrating it like Jawab De Diya. NDTV tickers were just, showstopper. Operation Sindoor showstopper and PM's big. It was a nothing speech.
Gogoi and then Priyanka and then Rahul, if you put all three together, they had raised beautiful questions, and those questions were not answered by the Prime Minister was quite evident.
As a journalist, I would take no one's word for anything. I would ask questions until it is proved beyond any more questions to be asked.
Is basically following what Trump is announcing. There is less understanding on why he's doing this, and if we understand that, perhaps we'll know that there's a lot of upheaval coming our way.
I think this whole thing of why is Trump doing what he's doing, you have to see it as just he's a white supremacist and the idea for him is just carving the world out for himself.
To take advantage of that, just like in a tricky pitch in cricket or in a wet weather conditions on Formula 1, you need to have the skill set.
That video that's gone viral of Anjana Kashyap and Gaurav Sawant. जब ट्रम्प और मोदी साथ आते हैं तो बिजली चमकती है, क्या केमिस्ट्री है, क्या इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है दोनों की. अब देखना हम दोनों साथ में. I mean, I was like, okay, wait till he turns on you.
Not the first instance when US might have done something like that. Tariffs might be a new instrument.
Right.
But I mean, US is known for just simply, having started wars, or bombing places.
Welcome to Chota Hafta. Now, Chota Hafta is but a small, chota version of a complete weekly podcast, Newslaundry Hafta. The Newslaundry Hafta is where you get the week's news, what made the headlines, what didn't make the headlines, but the full version is available to subscribers only. And I don't mean YouTube subscribers, although YouTube subscribers are also very welcome, very, very grateful to you, but also to Newslaundry subscribers, the paying subscribers who pay to keep news free. So you can also become a paying subscriber by clicking the subscription link. Now, what do you get if you're a paying subscriber? You get access to all our paywall content, all interviews, podcasts, and importantly, you get access to a full unedited Hafta, where you not only get to hear the week's news, but you get to hear the Newslaundry editors' positions on matters. You get to see their biases, what are their prejudices. It's an exercise in transparency while also informing you, and we have a few quips and jokes and agreements and disagreements thrown in. So listen to the full Hafta, subscribe to Newslaundry, and pay to keep news free. Here we go.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to another episode of Hafta. We are recording this on the 1st of August, the first of a new month, at 11 in the morning. We have two guests joining us today. And before I get into the headlines, let me introduce both. But even before we do that, I would like to thank those of you who have contributed to this project, which is on India's e-waste, which was a story that we kind of stumbled into. And as we unraveled it, it became more and more alarming that the Swachh Bharat mission of Prime Minister Modi, how swachh it is when it comes to e-waste. We're calling this project India's e-waste underworld. As you know, our journalism is funded entirely by you. This is a story where we have dedicated 2 resources exclusively on this for a few months now, if I'm not wrong, Raman sir. So do contribute. The total project is going to cost 6,50,000. We have already got 5,05,000. That leaves about 1.5 lakhs. Here is the QR code. There is a link in the show notes. Do contribute, because when the public pays, the public is served. And this is a huge story. It's going to have implications not just for your and my generation, but of our kids as well, because e-waste is a huge, huge environmental threat. And many of you have repeatedly written to us saying we should do more stories on the environment. Well, before we go into the headlines, let me introduce the panel. In the studio is a suffering Manisha who has been caught by the
Yes.
change of weather
It's
Delhi.
the first cold of the year. I'm very proud of myself.
Raman sir,
Hello.
who is
Fit and fine.
not uh, been afflicted by the flu yet. And joining us from his residence, I'm guessing, is Sanjeev Srivastava. Hi, Sanjeev.
Thank you, Abhinandan, for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Quick reminder, Hafta is behind a paywall now. The Chota Hafta is available for free, so do contribute and get the full unedited episodes of Hafta and all our interviews. But 3 or 4 significant things. One, Mr. Modi did not, although he was in Parliament, he was in his chamber, he did not reach the floor of the House when this was debated in Rajya Sabha. He did appear in the Lok Sabha for a while. And Rajya Sabha MPs walked out because this is a complete disrespect of the upper house, since if he is here, he should at least show his face. I don't think there's any doubt in what Mr. Modi thinks about the Parliament. Then Priyanka Gandhi's speech, a lot of people said it was pretty good. I mean, I thought it wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great. I thought Ovesi's speech was amazing.
I
And
think Priyanka's speech was very pointed. I think a lot of the points she raised were pretty, very, very, cornered the government on very specific things. So that's why I like.
To begin with, Priyanka Gandhi, I think she played on the emotions. She basically, brought out the incident very clearly. She made everybody, if anybody who is watching that particular debate, so people will remember the incident, what happened on that particular day. So she played on emotions, and I also feel that she was politically pretty sharp, because when the treasury benches were saying something, they were interrupting. She did say that 11 साल से तो आप ही राज कर रहे हैं, आप छोड़ दीजिए मेरी माँ को.
Just adding on to Priyanka, I think her insistence on jawabdehi and accountability, and why has the home minister not resigned, why has nobody taken the responsibility for the Pahalgam attack, was her strongest point.
What sadly works for the BJP is that the Prime Minister's speech, I think, was very dull. It was one of the dullest speeches he's given. No different from what Aman Chopra and Naveka do every night. Ki ye to Pakistan ke sur mein bol. How much are you going to... It's from 2016 we've been hearing this. That opposition is speaking like Pakistan. Now, if there was a free and independent media, you would have had questions by Priyanka and response by Modi and Amit Shah, and you would have clearly seen that there's no response from the other side. Their only response was one standard line, कि आप सवाल गलत पूछ रहे हो. आपको क्या हक है सवाल पूछने का? You don't trust your Minister of External Affairs. You want to trust Pakistan? Oh, you're like Pakistan. Amit Shah announcing Operation Mahadev and saying 3 terrorists killed. We know that evening, the army, Chinar Corps, which is responsible for all the operations in the valley station in Srinagar, they were going to have a 5 p.m. meeting, press meet. That got cancelled for the Home Minister to make this announcement. I mean, I don't know if it is for that, but it's something that got cancelled. And he comes and he just announces that, 3 Pahalgam आतंकी मर गए हैं, जिसमें से 2 का नाम हमने सुना ही नहीं है कभी. One, Suleiman chap's sketches have been out, but this Gibran and Afghan, again, like the question on how we sure there are 40 Pakistani operatives right now who have said to have infiltrated.
And these guys apparently came in 3 years ago.
Exactly. Like the opposition is right in asking, give us basic clarity. Who are they? How many? How did you come to that conclusion? You came out with sketches, then your own NIA said, no, the sketches are not, we're not going by them. It's somebody else.
Indian-US trade contributes to about 2% of our GDP. It contributes between 18 to 20% of our export in value. And I don't know if these tariffs are going to impact just our manufacturing and products or services as well. Because from what I understand, in products, the margins are very thin, so it could have a serious impact. In services, the margins are kind of, comfortable, so there could be an absorption of that cost. But you're the expert. Tell us what to make of it.
His faulty understanding that any trade deficit is a bad thing, is a negative. So if my country and your country, between my country and your country, there is a trade deficit and I have that deficit with you, then you are ripping me off, basically.
For him, it's a zero-sum game, basically.
So it's a zero-sum game in his head. Now the problem with that is that if you have figured out that his main goal is to bridge the deficit, then he will keep raising tariffs up till the point where the deficit comes down to zero, right? Because his goal is not to
And
either enhance...
And that may not even benefit him.
It will not benefit him. It will not benefit anybody.
Right.
So it will be universally a worse outcome for everybody. But the point to understand is that he's not pushing for free trade. You know,
he's pushing
not
for zero deficit, basically. That's what he's pushing.
He wants zero deficit. Now, zero deficit can happen when you and I don't trade.
At all, yeah.
That's a very good way to have zero deficit.
I mean, if you can turn on his best friends, like, who is Modi? Yeah? So, I mean, that entire piece of Shiv Shankar, Modi, our entire effort, money, time, airtime of prime time wasted in telling us how close we are for it to come to this. Do you think our foreign policy actually has been a disaster after having been acknowledged by many people, including myself?
You have to decide what drives the world. Is it real, genuine interests, power equations, or ideology, right? So I personally believe that all foreign policy and everything will be essentially about any country's interests. If you are a bigger power, then you will flex your muscles. It may be shrouded or covered in lovely language and everything, and some set of ideals and principles. But I think at the heart of all moves by all countries, I mean, US taking some action on the face of it, or reportedly because of something happening inside Brazil. It's not the first instance when US might have done something like that. Tariffs might be a new instrument.
What I think it has been really something for us vis-a-vis China. Again, it's a bigger economy. You know, when you go to the US, you really see how China is everywhere. So in terms of just a producer for US also, they are way bigger than India is. Nothing in the US is not made in China. But the fact that they started with a very bad kind of a proposition to have come to the negotiating table, and now at the end of their trade deal, and they've gotten a lesser tariff.
Yeah.
India was at 25, we've gotten a 25. Whereas we were the first to meet Trump. You know, that whole embarrassing picture of Trump, Jaishankar with Elon Musk and his kids and his nanny.
Yeah.
We were the first to rush there.
Yeah, and yet we haven't got anything in return. Vietnam is less than us.
Indonesia is at 19.
The two examples you gave of Japan and Korea, you know, one can also give the example of Pakistan, which had a way more open economy than ours. What did it do for them? It completely destroyed them. They have no internal capacity to make anything.
So you must have that, you know, so whether we'll be like in 2019, we opted out of RCEP, you know, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, because we thought that, you know, maybe China's goods would flood our markets, and ASEAN or New Zealand ka milk aa jayega, Australia ka milk aa jayega, whatever. Now, either you know, this is the thing with trade. Most of trade thinking and trade pessimism, as it is called, is based on the thing, hamare producers ka kya hoga? But nobody thinks hamare consumers ka kya hoga, right? Because consumers are a much larger...
बस मुफ्त में इतना ही मिलेगा. For the full uncut podcast, subscribe to Newslaundry and pay to keep news free. The best way to listen to The Hafta and indeed all our podcasts is through the Newslaundry app. You can download the app by clicking on the links given in the show notes. So do download our app and get the best podcast experience. And also pay for news and support a new news media ecosystem that Newslaundry is trying to encourage, where we are accountable to you because we run on contributions that you make. We don't take government ads, we don't take corporations ads, so that news serves the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Subscribe to Newslaundry, click on the link in the show notes below, and proudly say, I pay to keep news free.